Hello. Today I wanted to make a episode about confirmation bias and basically how people perceive each other through, social behavior. And I wanted to address a few things. Hang on, turn my fan off so you can hear me. Yeah, you're gonna be hearing a lot of ums in this because I don't script my videos, although I should. So let's talk about interaction with other people. Now, as you may have noticed, I have a very feminine voice. And the thing is that there's two types of people. There are people that are overly emotional and don't use a lot of logic, and that causes a lot of irrationality, and that's probably the root of a lot of our problems now. And then you have people that are just cold and they don't believe in emotion and stuff. Now, I don't have a problem with emotion. I'm a very emotional person myself. However, I try to apply that emotion to things that are actually sad, like out of my control, rather. Like if I get depressed, for example, I will do things that I've learned through research to maybe decrease the amount of, how I feel, right? One thing that helps is exercise. Exercise, is a very good antidepressant. It releases, anything that makes you happy releases a chemical in your body called oxytocin, which is a natural happy drug. So, again, I'm not trying to sound intelligent or smart. This is all things. I'm just trying to tell people that maybe don't know this type of thing, okay? So, oxytocin is released through certain things. That's why I try to stay away from most junk food and stuff, because it's kind of like doing drugs, like bad drugs. It does help you, yes, like eating bad food, but it causes a crash afterward because of the chemicals in the food, okay? I don't take antipsychotics because they've been proven to be dangerous, and there's plenty of research supporting this. But I try to exercise. I try to, if you want to be honest, masturbation is actually a very good form of releasing oxytocin. That's why when you're fucking, you it's very hard to get depressed while you're having sex, because sex releases a lot of oxytocin into the body. But like all things, it will not work as well over time. So I think that's why it's always good to I'm not trying, like, it's always good to balance out, because there's plenty of good things that can make you feel better, and sex, exercise, these are all things that give you oxytocin without a crash. But I don't even know what the hell. Nah, I'm going off topic here. So I wanted to talk about how we socialize with each other and how we talk to each other, and I begin to realize over time, because I try to look at people and I try to, I don't judge them on a personal level, but I try to judge them on a basis of their gender and etc. Because we all do have general psychological stereotypes we're going to have related to our gender. Obviously women have more estrogen in their body, so they're more prone to be emotional and less logical, where men have more testosterone, where they're more likely to be aggressive, but more logical. So, with my voice, for example, I started to realize a long time ago that the only people, well, the majority anyway, of people that seem to dislike it are men. Now, that is an interesting observation, because okay, well, why would it be men? Because at first I thought, okay, well, women would dislike it more because it doesn't sound how do I put it? It doesn't sound masculine, which gives off a subconscious form of, okay, maybe that person's weak, because they look and so feminine. But the thing is that what I realize is that with females, at least, they tend to like security more, not so much physical brute strength or masculinity. They're more turned off by people that are unmotivated, etc. Now, with men, it's actually men that attack my voice the most, because it's not natural, it's environment based. In this society, we've come to accept a lot of certain rules, and there's people can try and say, oh well, I don't follow gender roles, but almost everybody I talk to questions my gender. Now, you could say it's curiosity, but deep down, it's kind of a sign of insecurity within themselves, because they need to know, right, how to treat me. Because subconsciously, I think we do treat different genders differently, and different things that we do, or how we feel, our current mental condition can affect you accordingly. Like, if you're turned on or horny, I don't know how it works for women, but I notice with men, a lot of times if they're turned on, they're more likely to be more polite towards the opposite sex. They're more friendly in general. So marijuana, for example, tends to make people more laid back, obviously. So that's why you sometimes people that smoke marijuana, you may think that they're being rude to you, but really, just temporarily, their brain is not able to trigger logical chemical responses in the brain, like, okay, don't say that because that person might get offended, right? Which could lead to this consequence. Well, when you smoke pot, it shuts off those triggers. You don't have anxiety. That's for some people, it cuts the anxiety off. So, my voice only tends to aggravate men, because they see it as a sign of weakness. Like, I might be weak because I have a voice that's more feminine than than most men. But the reality is it doesn't really matter what you sound like or what you look like. You can still be like me, for example. I'm a very loud, extroverted person, but I live an introverted lifestyle, mainly because I don't like types of places like bars, etc., because I don't get along with those people. They have values that are very different from mine. Usually, people in that environment are usually, like, as an example, I smoke medical marijuana, and I've been high many times, but I've never been drunk before, because I don't like alcohol. And if I was in an environment, a person that smokes as much pot as I do, I wouldn't like it, because it's not that I have a problem with loud environments. I don't like freak out and stuff. I just don't like it. It's annoying to me. So there's that. Another thing I think we should consider is the social roles of, and of course women. I used to think it was natural, but I don't. It's obviously it's more environment based. A lot of women have problems with being overweight and stuff. But I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Well, the thing is that it's been said, I've listened to various sources, that men find women with a curvy body more attractive. It's to do with the subconscious of something to do with bearing children or something. But the thing is that we humans have trick nature. It's kind of odd. We have things now where we fooled nature, and we're starting to get into things that we're not really originally meant. For example, getting horny is actually just nature's way of trying to make you breed quicker. But we live in a society now where we're not so primitive, where we can't just go up behind somebody and, start fucking them in the ass. So, I mean, you could, but I don't think that'd be very pleasant for the other party. But me, for example, I am ass backwards. I am absolutely ass backwards. I rarely ever give a shit about somebody's physical appearance. And they actually say that men and women both are more attracted to a more fit body. Well, it's odd, because I am actually not. I actually find I actually find girls that are fat or chubby, like, and I mean fat, like 200 to 280 pounds is like, I don't know why. It's just part of my sexuality, and I can't explain it. So, people go to me like, really? Wow. What do you mean, really? Wow. I can't control my sexuality. There's no way I can control that, and that's just what I like. So, regardless, that's how it goes. And one of the problems I have with society the most is how we have to interact with each other. Because I'm actually a very honest person, but people get offended easy. And unlike me, I'm very understanding. Okay, even if somebody says something that offends me, I try very, very hard to look at it first instead of acting out. Even passive aggressively, I try not to do that. I just try to look at it and then act accordingly. And when you first meet somebody, you have to be very careful what you say, because you can scare people off easy. Now, the thing is that people are actually very accepting. They're not as cruel as some people think they are. The problem is that they're only accepting after they've known you for a while, and they kind of get, because if you tell somebody, like, right off the bat, like, oh, I want to kill myself, well, that's going to give the person a subconscious trigger, like, okay, this person might be dangerous or psycho, I don't want to have to deal with the problems. However, if you develop an emotional attachment, they're more likely to accept those types of things and help you. I am the opposite. I have no idea why. I've had people tell me that they've wanted to kill themselves within the first 3 sentences of meeting them. It doesn't bother me, because I understand people, and I understand people have problems in the world, so I'm not necessarily afraid of people saying they want to kill people or other people, because I understand. That's why I try to help them, right? Like with Columbine killers, just like there was this, somebody asked Marilyn Manson one time, what would you say to the Columbine killers if they were still alive today? And he said, I wouldn't say anything, I would just listen. And that's exactly right. You'd be surprised, just because people, especially when they're in a very emotional state, they don't always need you to give them advice. What they need is just to sit and listen. That's it. We're very, very social creatures, and we're not as aggressive and competitive and greedy as some people try to make us out to be. And if you've seen the Zeitgeist films, it explains this very well. That you can actually further help a infant's social development by just being generally more caring and more physical with it, like, giving it a hug and etc., being loving, right? And with babies, for example, it's actually it's actually better to hold a infant than let it cry in the middle of the night, because and then people go, oh, well, it'll stop eventually, so it's learning a lesson. No, what it's doing is it's actually a defense mechanism that it uses to block itself out from the imminent danger, because a baby does not really understand what's going on around it. So they cry because they don't know what else to do, right? They're very primitive. And it's been said that human beings we're born premature. That's why, you can have a horse, a pony, whatever, that is born and it can run on the first day, because they're more developed. Human beings are actually not very developed, and we take a long time to grow too, if you think about it, right? It takes approximately, if you wanna be specific, about 20 years to be a fully developed human being. And so, I think a lot of people are really cold nowadays. They're very they don't like other people, and I think it has to do with the fact that there's a couple things. One, they're not understanding. They don't understand other people very well. They don't want to understand, because it's simply easier to be a jerk, really, and look at the world from a cold point of view. And another thing is that and of course, obviously, they're not obligated to do anything for anybody if they don't want to, if they want to be in their lives and help them. But I personally like to listen to people. I like to hear things, even people that dislike me, that hate me. I don't have anything against them, because I understand that our values are different. If we lived in a different society, our values would be different again, because of the environment we live in. So, that's why I don't. See, the thing is that when people are aggressive towards me, I don't usually get mad, because I understand why they're having that behavior. It's usually because of different values, or maybe they're having their own mental issues, so they tend to act out on people. The only time I get truly angry at somebody is when they're deliberately using that aggressiveness and trying to take advantage of me for just general greedy purposes. And even then, that's from society and how we take advantage of each other for sheer enjoyment. But again, a lot of this comes from the third Zeitgeist movie, but they explained, in the third one, how if our needs are met, then of course we're going to grow up happy and we're going to grow up loving, which is true. Now, I'm not trying to cause a sob story. I'm just being honest. I was not really neglected as a child, but I was kind of ignored. I wasn't really. My parents weren't basically interested in me a whole lot. So, but it's odd. It actually gave the opposite reaction. Instead of me being more distant from human beings, I'm actually a lot closer. I like affection a lot, actually. I like human contact, etc. But a lot of people aren't like that. They kind of have this mentality that the other person has to make them earn it. You see, I'm not like that. I don't mind sharing things, not everything, of course, but about myself, because I have nothing to hide. I really don't have anything to hide at the end of the day. And if people are going to judge me for that, then I just ignore them. I don't get mad at them. I don't block them. I just ignore them because they're not going to benefit my life in any way. And I think that's what a lot of people have to do with the critics. They just have to ignore them. Do not acknowledge them. Do not do anything. Even it doesn't matter if it hurts your feelings or not. Just ignore them, because all you're going to do is, a lot of times when I get into an argument with somebody, I don't even say half the stuff that I want to say because it's not worth it. People's beliefs tend to get in the way of who somebody is, and I think that's very sad. Because I have a friend that's the complete opposite of me, and we're great friends. Sorry, there's a dog barking in the background, if you can hear that. So that's how I see it. And frankly, I don't really care about our differing beliefs. I care about the individual and how they're feeling. And that's, I think, how you build friendships and stuff, is by caring about what the other person feels. You'd be surprised how just acknowledging somebody's existence can brighten up their day. Even, hang on, I wonder if, sorry, I apologize. I'm just trying to get the quality a little better. I got a pretty awful webcam, so. But I'm a very visual person. I haven't experienced a whole lot in life in terms of bad. But I've researched and I've watched other people's lives. That's why I'm so perceptive. I notice things, and I've avoided a lot of mistakes because I've watched society and I've watched the mistakes they've made, so I tend to avoid those. And it's a little hard because a lot of people dislike me for my lifestyle choices, of course. But it's really sad, when people talk to me and they try to justify. Like, I asked them, and I'm just curious. All it is curiosity. I asked them what job they had, like what did they do for school or job, whatever. And they some of them try to justify it. They go, oh well, I work at McDonald's. I don't really go to school right now. And they're trying to make it so they don't look like a quote unquote loser. But the thing is I don't really care if you have a job or not. What you do to try and make your life better has nothing to do with me. I only care what the type of person you are. So. Anyway, I don't really have much else to talk about. I just wanted to get that some of those things out there about my view on different things. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you later.